Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I am your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 100 of our trek, and yesterday we explored the 10 life lessons that we can learn while hiking. Today we want to determine why life is like working in a farm field. During the remainder of September, we are celebrating the achievement of the milestone of our 100th day on our Wisdom Trek. Very few podcasts last more than a few episodes, but we realize that anything worthwhile in life's trek takes consistent persistence. On October 5th, we will be having a drawing where we will be giving away 7 free Wisdom Trek t-shirts. Within the next 2 days, there will be an entry form on the main Basecamp page at wisdom-trek.com, and you can enter once per day during the month of September for the drawing. We are recording our podcast from the studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. I am creating this podcast on Labor Day in the U.S., so most of our client work is non-existent today, and it gave me an extra day to work on our formal dining room. I finished removing the old varnish on the woodwork and was able to sand the floor. Tomorrow morning, I will finish vacuuming the dust and prepare for applying polyurethane on both the woodwork and the floors this week. My goal is to have it finished no later than Saturday, prior to heading back to Charlotte on Sunday. While it does require a lot of effort to renovate the various rooms in the Big House, it does bring a great sense of satisfaction realizing that we are fixing up the house to its original condition that was built by my great-grandparents. And in some rooms we are making improvements that make it even better. Paula and I feel strongly that this is part of the family legacy that God has entrusted to us. It is our hope that we will be able to set up a fund to help the future family members to maintain this house. It is both time-consuming and expensive to maintain, but the heritage we feel is worth the investment. Paul is also able to plant some crocus and hyacinth flower bulbs along the front walk this morning so we can enjoy them early next spring. It is time for today to break camp and head out on our trek. As we move slowly up the trail today, we come to a clearing overlooking a valley. In the valley are acres of fields containing crops, and we notice there are workers stooped over, busily harvesting the crops by hand. I grew up on a small farm and an apple orchard, and this reminds me how life is like working in the fields, harvesting the crops. We worked many hours harvesting both vegetable crops and picking apples by hand, one at a time. Apple harvest was an intense season for us, requiring a lot of work climbing both the trees and ladders to reach all the apples. In addition to the physical climbing, we had a picking bag strapped to our front, which when full would hold between 40 and 50 pounds of apples. And for us when we were small, that was quite a heavy load. As I remember the many years of growing up, I do reflect on how blessed I was to learn the value of hard work and many other lessons and wisdom that I can now apply to each day. And this reminds me of the lessons taught by one of my virtual mentors, Jim Rohn. One of his lessons was titled, "Look Up, Look Around, and Then Back to Work." So let's look at each of these points. Number 1, look up. Whether we are working in a field, like we see the workers in the valley that we are overlooking on our trek today, or working in an office, digging a ditch, or any other task during the day, let us take time to pause and look up. We are to look up to give thanks to God and ask Him to help us through each day. As King David proclaimed in Psalms 121 verses 1 through 3, "I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber." And in 1 Chronicles 16:8, David also said, "Give thanks to the Lord and proclaim His greatness. Let the whole world know what He has done." Point number 2, look around. Once we look up, next we should look around. The reason we look around is to assess the progress that we're making and to see if any other workers in the field need our help. We are all on this trek of life together. When others are in need of help, we should be ready and prepared to help them. We never know when we will also need help from somebody else. Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 and 10 says, "Two people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help, but someone who falls alone is in real trouble." Also, in order to get the crop harvested on time or any other work accomplished on a timely basis, we will need all of us to help, as Jesus describes to His disciples as He's referring to the spiritual harvest in John 4 verses 35 and 36. You know the saying, 4 months between planting and harvesting, but I say, wake up and look around. The fields are already ripe for harvest. The harvesters are paid good wages, and the fruit they harvest is people brought to eternal life. what joy awaits both the planter and the harvester alike. And our point number 3, then back to work. Whatever our job, occupation, and calling is in our life, we should work hard, we should work with excellence, and we should be consistent and persistent in all that we do. We never know when our work on this trek of life will be complete. John chapter 9, verse 4 puts it this way: we must quickly carry out the task assigned to us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. Hard work does bring us success and will benefit us tremendously. There are numerous verses in Proverbs that give us the grounded principles for success, but I'll just give 3 of them for us today. Proverbs 10:4, lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. Proverbs 12:11, a hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. And Proverbs 21:5, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Today we are reminded that life is like working in a farm field. We should look up, look around, and then get back to work. So join us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. And tomorrow we will learn why life is like a clock. Well, that'll finish our podcast for today. If you've missed any of the previous podcasts, please check out Wisdom Trek on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, YouTube, or at wisdom-trek.com. If you enjoy our daily doses of wisdom, these little nuggets we consume each day, I encourage you to take the time to invest in yourself in these 3 ways. Invest with your time in improving Wisdom Trek by leaving your name, email address, and a comment on our website so that we can provide you with the wisdom and insights that best fit your needs. Number 2, invest in yourself by listening to your 7 minutes of wisdom through the Wisdom Trek podcast each day. And the best way to do this is to subscribe at iTunes or Stitcher and have it downloaded to you automatically. And third, invest in the lives of others by sharing with your family and friends, in person or online, to journey with us on our Wisdom Trek. And if you haven't done so already, please leave us a rating at iTunes or Stitcher so that we'll gain more exposure for others to join us on our Wisdom Trek. The journal for this podcast can be found at wisdom-trek.com, where we also have pictures, tweetable quotes, wisdom nuggets, and free resources. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide, mentor, but most importantly, your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. As we take this trek together, let us always live abundantly or fully, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.